Steady now.
Achievements have proved a fascinating, yet often divisive, element of modern gaming. Introduced by Microsoft with the Xbox 360, games would come with their own lists of tasks that rewarded gamer score, each adding to an overall total. Retail releases would generally carry 1,000 points, while arcades started with 200, until eventually seeing games with 400 points. With the Xbox One, every release would carry 1,000 gamer score, leading to some developers making an art form out of easy achievements lists, perhaps diminishing the accomplishment aspect of it. But during the 360's lifetime, some seriously insane lists would test the mettle of gamers, leaving them wondering if it's worth the pain. So, in time for Halloween, today we look at 5 of the scariest lists that are simply not worth it. It will be limited to Xbox 360, though a future video could cover Xbox One or PlayStation trophies, and a couple of the games featured were released on PlayStation 3 as well. The inspiration for this video, fear, would arrive early in the life of the console, at a time when devs were still figuring out how the system worked. Day One Studios would opt for a mix of single player, multiplayer, and instant action tasks, but sadly they underwhelm in almost every category. The proportionally large achievements for campaign often force you to play the game in a tedious manner that misses what is excellent about the game. Having to play the campaign without using slow-mo, without firing a certain number of bullets, and without dying all feel detrimental to the experience and consist of a large chunk of its gamer score. Then there's the multiplayer grind, which forces you to play 1,000 games of ranked multiplayer. It was an ordeal at the time, but some years later they're impossible to earn without boosting. It's a shame, as Fear is an excellent game, but its achievements list completely misses why it's a top tier experience. Throughout most of the generation, fighting games regularly held the hardest achievement lists, part due to the heightened skill often required to master these games for the uninitiated, and part due to some seriously difficult requirements. Those who earned decent scores on these games deserved credit. Mortal Kombat's 2011 reboot may be the toughest, but not in a fun way. While most of the list isn't too bad, with some tougher multiplayer and max difficulty single player challenges, the My Kung Fu is Stronger achievement is where things break down. In order to earn this, you must win 100 matches, perform 100 finishing moves, 150 x-rays, spill 10,000 pints of blood, and spend 24 hours playing. Not too bad, at a first glance, but the caveat, sadly, is that this must be done with all 27 characters. Simple maths shows this will take 600 hours minimum, which means one of two things. You'll either spend months playing it, pouring all your time in, or you leave your console on overnight, which, considering the issues the 360 had with overheating, is maybe ill-advised. When you have to go to these extremes, it's time to ask yourself, is it worth it? The announcement of several server closures for Need for Speed games at the end of August 2021 showed just how fragile online gaming could be once console generations move forward. However, Need for Speed Carbon's inclusion on that list proved odd, as its servers had been technically down for years prior. Out of 50 achievements, 31 would become unobtainable, with Carbon's servers being useless and not allowing eager players to connect with each other. But worst of all, one achievement dubbed Urban Battle would be broken for the entirety of the game's life, with EA too busy to fix the achievement apparently. One would assume the lone player who has completed this one did so through hacking. For its heavy skew towards multiplayer and lack of support in fixing issues, you're better off sticking with the achievementless versions of this one, lest you end up with dead weight on your gamer score. Although, I guess you could say that about a lot of 360 Need for Speed games now. As a launch title for the console, Quake 4's 360 port would be one of the earliest displays of how wrong an achievement list could go. Firstly, campaign achievements are not stackable, and force you to replay the campaign 4 separate times on each difficulty. While finishing levels using certain guns is a bit better, the campaign accounts for only a little over half the score. The rest consist of multiplayer achievements, with some seriously insane requirements. Play 5,000 matches, 1,000 flag captures, 10,000 frags. All this and more awaits the dedicated, with the straw breaker being getting to both top 10 and number 1 on the leaderboards. These sorts of grindy, tedious and time-consuming multiplayer achievements were sadly commonplace early on in the gen, whether it was Gears of War's Seriously achievement, forcing these grinds into games with weak multiplayer components, or perhaps one of the ones to start it all, Quake 4. Perhaps one of the most infamous achievement lists, Lost Planet 2's legendary grind required to earn its full score has broken most players. Put it this way, out of 73,000 players who are tracked as having played the game on true achievements, a meagre 142 people have completed it. Where to start? It's got a bit of everything from above. Time-consuming, tedious achievements in both campaign and multiplayer that extend way beyond a normal finishing time. The grind is very real here, with campaign achievements that do not stack and force you to replay the game at least 4 times on each setting. Another asks you to earn level 99 with each faction, which requires 1,000,000 points. Tedious achievements require you to kill thousands of enemies. One asks you to die 444 times, and getting all of the awards, which includes challenges for topping the leaderboards of certain world records. Also, online requires over 500 games played and over 1,000 kills. You'd be lucky to complete this within 300 hours, and with weapon unlocks on a literal spinning wheel going towards the total, that's literally true. And there are 5 of the most nightmarish achievement lists for gaming completionists. Were any of these conquered by yourselves? Did you have more examples to share? Drop a comment down below, and thanks for watching.